Well, we got an interesting number up. Welcome back to Views with Hughes at Jennifer News. This is Jerome Hughes, and if you haven't done so already, go ahead and subscribe to the channel, click the bell notification so that way you be notified of future uploads and updates. So you see here on the banner, and this is rumor. Okay, so take this with a grain of salt. The Star Wars Galactic Starcruiser, excuse me, we already know it's set to be closed this fall or in December or later this year. But here's a rumor. The Imagineers, who are the employees, they were blindsided by the news. They weren't told about it. So this is coming from www.newstoday.com. It says here that early this week, Disney announced the permanent closure of the Star Wars Galactic Starcruiser following the September 28th voyage, and reports indicate this was a last-minute decision that took many who work at the location by surprise. However, sources close to the project have indicated that the immersive experience was scheduled to close temporarily a few weeks later. Here's my thing. Why would you break out news about an attraction without notifying the employees first? You know, the people who actually, took it seriously, as well, or at least those who remained there who still took it seriously, because of the fact that, remember last year, some months after it opened, we already had people actors and employees resigning from the hotel attraction. Why not inform the employees first and then go ahead and break the news out there? I mean, I just don't know, because now it's something unexpected, not giving them enough time to go ahead and plan these things out to find new employment and things like that. And prior to this week's announcement, the Star Wars Galactic Starcruiser was internally expected to halt the sale of reservations dated after December 2023. Based on recent internal reports, this may have been to facilitate a series of updates and changes across the entire experience. Rumors have been swirling for quite some time that the Starcruiser would face transformation. Here's the thing, though. These weren't really rumors. These were just people give you a warning of what's to come. Like, that doesn't really sound like a rumor, unless it was actual rumor. But yeah, people had an idea about this. We knew this was bound to happen. Okay, so it's not the matter of like having a different set of storylines and characters, but it's like it's not the original characters and storyline. It's just the Disney part, the Disney version, the one that didn't really sell. Just because he made like $2 or $1 billion in the box office and everything doesn't mean squat. What about the merchandising, the toys in the stores, the clothes, etc.? I don't see many BB-8s around here anywhere. People with BB-8s around here anywhere. But I digress. It was assumed that an announcement would be made regarding the closure that included information about the Starcruiser's future. However, the statements made by Disney this week seem to confirm that it will not return as a 2-night immersive experience it was before, no matter what it does eventually return as. Imagineers were reportedly on the Halicon as recently as this week, working on a revamped Gaia dinner show, as well as over new merchandise that was on the way and new spiels for bartenders at Sunlight Lounge. Obviously, this is not the kind of investment of time, of money, and money you would put into something you plan to close permanently. So yeah, we already know that this was going to come, because of the fact that Galaxy's Edge, that was supposed to be based on the original trilogy, but they messed that up. They messed it up and put some insights from Disney into it and then just ruined it. That's what led to the closure of it. Disney just ruined it. Now they just decided to open something else they figured would be doing better and everything to bring in the OG Star Wars fans. But no, there's only one thing OG about it, and that's Chewbacca. That was it. No Yoda, no Luke, no Leia, no Han Solo, no CP3O, no R2-D2, nothing. They just decided to go ahead and go with Disney sequels, as well as some other things that didn't look like Star Wars. Basically looked like a full line generic brand version of Star Wars. Okay? But here's the kicker, though. There's news about when the final voyage is going to be happening. Final voyage of Star Wars Galactic Cruiser is sold out. All right. So basically, all the reservations of the final voyage of Star Wars Galactic Starcruiser between September 28th and 30th are now completely gone on the Walt Disney World website. You can see it right here, the screenshot, all sold out. Two days ago, Disney made a surprise announcement that they'd be closing their themed hotel aimed at immersive storytelling permanently after only 1 year and a few months of operation. Starcruiser has been burdened since before its opening, shrouded in financial troubles, budget cuts, high prices, low occupancy, and inconsistent levels of satisfaction when individuals compare what was delivered with what was initially promised in conceptual stages. Above all, the struggling resort was prohibitively expensive for the vast majority of potentially interested guests. Interesting. $1,200 for individuals, $600 for a family, at least a family of four. What could go wrong? Based on the Disney sequel trilogies instead of the original works of George Lucas, what could go wrong? Well, we saw what went wrong, and now they're about to permanently close, affecting a lot of employees right now. Not to mention, it's not surprising because of the fact that last year, several employees were already resigning because of the things that were happening, the fact that they weren't getting paid enough, and not to mention the customers were complaining because of the fact that this doesn't feel like Star Wars. It was a bunch of lackluster Jedi or lightsaber training, as well as terrible food. Don't believe me about how, people like the original Star Wars fans are feeling about the fact that they weren't liking this and this affected its sales? So how about the fact that George Lucas, and this is rumor, reportedly not happy with this Daisy Ridley sequel trilogy? We've all heard about this, the rumors about this, the speculation years prior, but YouTuber Star Wars Theory is said to have confirmed it based on the word of mouth. All right. Now, will I take this as actual, truth? Possibly. Something I keep in mind, So this is coming from Fandom Wire here, where it says that it's been previously revealed by a YouTube channel called Star Wars Theory that legendary Star Wars creator George Lucas is allegedly not happy with J.J. Abrams' sequel trilogy. Oh, it's not the J.J. Abrams sequel trilogy. Rian Johnson, or we call it Ruin Johnson, had something to do with it. Didn't like Last Jedi? Honestly, I loved his movie Knives Out. I went to see the movie theaters 12 times, but other than that, that's it. That's like the only thing of Ruin Johnson that I like. So, and it says here that it was the backbone of the iconic Star Wars franchise, which describes George Lucas. He's the backbone of the iconic Star Wars franchise. Once talked about the changes in the franchise, explaining like he lost control of Star Wars, like that from that interview that I mentioned before. When it broke out, when he was being interviewed by the students from a Harlem school. We're saying he lost control of Star Wars. He once referred to the Walt Disney Company as white slavers. Interesting. So it also says here the famous YouTube channel Star Wars Theory that debunks popular theories surrounding Star Wars has revealed that George Lucas, who was well known for launching the Star Wars franchise, is not a huge fan of the recent Star Wars movies. Why are they saying recent Star Wars movie? Why not just call it what it is, the Disney sequels? The Disney sequels, which really isn't Star Wars, Star Wars Theory, also known as Twos, said in one of his latest videos, I know people who know George Lucas, and they say he's not happy with the stuff that been kind of like the sequel trilogy stuff. So he says here that he's basically not the fan of the sequel trilogy. And going down here, back in 2020, he says George Lucas went to East Harlem. He didn't go to there. It was like a virtual Q&A session, like through Zoom or Skype or whatever. Says at the at the East Harlem School at Exeter's house with his wife Melody Hobson during a Q&A session. Lucas was asked, "The world has changed so much since the first Star Wars movie. How do you think the changes in the fight for racial justice will impact the Star Wars universe going forward?" I guarantee you that was scripted. To this day, I still think that was scripted, or he was possibly coached into writing that question to ask George Lucas. But here's George Lucas's response. "I don't know. I mean, I kind of lost control of Star Wars, so it's going off in a different path than what I intended. But the first 6 Star Wars films, the prequels and the original trilogies, are very much mine and my philosophy." There we go. There we go. That's the first signal that we saw that he didn't really like it, you know. But he chose Kathleen Kennedy because of the fact that he thought that he can trust her and everything. But it goes further back than that, you know. So roll with me right quick. It was like a lot of Star Wars fans out there who just basically lambasted George Lucas over the prequels, you know, the Phantom Menace, Attack of the Clones, and the Revenge of the Sith, you know. So they faced the backlash from that, and then he faced the backlash from it. He decided to go ahead and sell the whole franchise to Disney, you know. Now they seeing what Disney's done with it. At least a number of them regret it, you know. Some of them still hate it, but then there's some that regret it because of the fact that they see that Disney sequels are worse than the prequel trilogies, you know. But let me know your thoughts about this in the comments below. How do you feel about the closure of Galactic Starcruiser? How do you feel about how George Lucas feels about the Disney sequels and everything? Do you think that he shouldn't have sold it? And if you thought so, what could have been done differently? And also, how do you think that if there wasn't a backlash from it, do you think that he would not have sold the franchise itself? So let me know your thoughts about it in the comments below. Because here we got George Lucas. He's well up there in age right now. It's possible he may or may not get it back, or if he's able to, but I don't know. So let me know your thoughts about it in the comments below. Let me know what went wrong in the video. Provide any of your additional thoughts to the topic that I did not touch upon in the video. If you enjoyed what I shared in the video, what I talked about in the video, and the insight, go ahead and smash the like button and share far wide across social media. If you enjoyed what I shared in the video, and if you also enjoy the content I put out there, go ahead and subscribe to the channel and click the bell notification so that way you'll be notified of future uploads and updates. Until then, peace.